Yaseen Habibi, how are you?
You gotta say that's ancient archers had nothing on me and then slid it in there.
I'm sorry that the last race went bad, but as you rightly mentioned, inshallah, next time it will be better.
The male or female?
That me, I would never.
She's
let
looking
this
for
slip.
them.
I want to respond to the things that you asked me to say. I don't know the purpose behind it. You want to hear it again, or you want to register it and have it as part of your videos?
Embedded within our short existence, I find nothing quite as cruel as the loss of a loved one.
We were six siblings. So I have Ahmed, remember? You remember Ahmed? My mom built the family that everyone will take care of the youngest one. So Hamoudi was almost my responsibility. Hamoudi used to have a back pain. I used to massage him whenever he has a pain. I just noticed the pain. It's just a back pain.
My dad died and I tried thinking he was out of my control. All I can do is move forward. And that's what I was doing when, less than a month later, I ran 742. That's what I was doing when the next day, I did 22 miles on a less than mile out and back, in case my mom had a panic attack and needed me. And that's what I was doing while we waited for the coroner to pick up his body, I tried to do my second run. And I got a minute in before my heart rate hit 190 and I started crying.
It's just a back pain. Until he went to the US and this thing started to grow, right? They went to the doctor and he was stage 4 cancer.
I texted you. Congratulations.
Congratulations! We love you.
But it's not okay. I've been paranoid my whole life. I get out of bed to check if the front door's locked. I check the back seat to see if anyone's hiding there. I'm always paranoid someone's gonna steal my spikes at a track meet. I woke up from a nap and I always worry, where is everyone, what's going on? But I didn't, that's my dad. He's gotta be fine, he's always fine. But when my mom started wondering where he was, I knew. And when we found him unconscious, I knew. And when for 45 minutes after the hospital turned us away, me and my brother took turns giving him CPR, and I couldn't remember if it was BGs or Earth, Wind, and Fire I was supposed to be remembering. I knew he was gonna die.
What was lost was a piece of yourself, a former self that has now faded away.
When I was younger, I would cry at everything. If kids were mean to me, if I didn't get my way, if my brothers were getting treated better than me. But at some point I stopped crying. And from 17 to 21, I think I cried twice, both about races. I wondered if I'd cry once we found him, because my 12-year-old brother cried immediately. And my 16-year-old brother cried once the hospital turned us away. And my 19-year-old brother cried once they stopped us from giving him CPR. But I didn't cry until I had to tell my mom.
Yaseen, where did you take that, Habibi? B10, B7, which hospital?
But for the next few days, I kept crying. I cried when my 6'5" uncle, who's never anything but strong, was hugging me and shaking and sobbing. And I cried when we left the airport. And there were hundreds of people that I'd never seen in my life telling me how much they cared about my dad. And I cried when my 12-year-old brother had to tell me and my mom to be strong. And I cried when they made us dig his grave and they wanted me to be strong, but I just wanted them to stop.
It is their potential and the potential that you both share that you grieve. And the promise of this potential is now gone.
Hey, Habibi. Good morning. Just wanted to check on you, see how you're doing. We saw the race yesterday, so I hope you're feeling okay. And at least I'm looking forward to next weekend in Lubbock, Texas.
And now I say his name because no one else has to. And I wear his old clothes because I want to look like him. And a lot of the time I'm happy, but sometimes I'm sad and I need to be alone. And sometimes I forget he died and I wonder why we haven't talked in a while. My dad would text me before every race and call me after. He's the reason I started running. And when we won the DMR, my parents weren't even there because I thought there were going to be other chances. But there won't be, and I never thought this would be why.
Did that have anything to do with your decision or how you would feel having to go back on the court and look at the stand to know your dad wasn't there?
Now when I line up, I feel alone. And when the races go well, I can forget about it for a while. But when they go bad and I'm fading, all I can think about is how I couldn't do anything then and I can't do anything now. I used to think I'd give up anything to run faster, but I'd give up running in a heartbeat to have my dad back.
I was in Istanbul 3 weeks ago, and I met someone who was in Tunisia in my wedding. He's Libyan. He asked me about your dad. He was shocked when I told him.
But we will never get over our loss in any simple way. We won't ever forget or naively recover. And, crucially, we don't have to. The depth of our grief is simply the price we pay for the extent of our love.
Yeah, Habibi, just wanted to hear your voice. Nothing important. We'll talk to you later.
My mom says he'd think it's better him than me, but I'd rather it be no one. I wish my dad was still here, and I wish I always ran great, and I wish everyone loved me all the time. But if it wasn't for what I've gone through, I wouldn't be who I am. I got to spend 21 years with my dad, and when we were in Sudan, he told me about his hopes for the country and how prosperous he wanted it to be. And when I was editing the video where I threw the medal on the red eye to Egypt, he told me how proud he was of me and how crazy I am for working so hard. And everything he taught me is a part of me now. How to handle myself in the good times, how to get through the bad. Yeah, I wish my dad was still here, but I'd always tell him I loved him, and he'd always tell me he was proud of me, and that'll have to be enough. I still don't know if we were a minute too late, or if nothing would have helped. But if the way I feel now is the price I have to pay to have known my dad, I'd pay it every time.
Yasuni, you're bringing a lot of memories, Habibi, huh? Bringing a lot of memories. We should celebrate the memories. We should celebrate the memories that we created together with them. I miss him. You definitely miss him. Your siblings miss him. I pray for him. You continue to pray for him until we meet him again. And this is life.
And what better way to honor the loss of someone whose time has passed than to embrace the time you still have with the grace and wit that you so desperately wish to give to them.
Yeah, Habibi.
Hey, Yaseen, you didn't answer, so you just text me, huh? I'm not gonna text you, I'm just gonna voicemail you. We love you, Habibi. I don't know how you feel, like, it was a great season, nevertheless. Give us a call this season, nothing to. We love you, Habibi.